So it says right here, in the rectangle PQRS, PQ is equal to 8 and QR is equal to 6. Points A and B lie on PQ, points C and D lie on QR, points E and F lie on RS, and points G and H lie on SP so that AP is equal to BQ, and the convex octagon ABCDEFGH is equilateral. The length of a side of this octagon can be expressed in the form K plus m times the square root of n, where k, m, and n are integers and n is not divisible by the square of any prime. What is k plus m plus n? Alright, and so I kind of labeled out everything for you. I drew all the points and everything, the length, alright? And so now let's dive into the problem, alright? So we're going to call the length of A to P, we're going to call that AP. We're going to also call the length of B to Q AP as well, because we know that it says AP is equal to BQ. Alright, and this A to B has to be 8 minus 2 AP. Alright, and so it's telling us that it's also equilateral, and we have an octagon right here. So we have to draw a little octagon, and we know that AB is equal to CD, which is equal to BC, which is equal to DE, which is equal to all these things right here, alright? And so what we can do, we can set up a system of equations for this, alright? And that's exactly what I did in this problem right here. So it says alright, here, let's figure out something else, alright? So let's call the length of Q to C, let's call that QC. Let's call the length of D to R, let's call that also QC, right? Because they're the same. And we're going to call C to D, well, that's 6 minus 2 QC. Alright, and so since this octagon has all equal sides, right, we're going to say that 8 minus 2 AP is equal to 6 minus 2 QC, right, because these are equal to each other, right? Let's draw that in a different color. So 8 minus 2 AP, I'll try to draw it small. Alright, we can divide the whole equation by 2, and we have simplified down 4 minus AP, which is equal to 3 minus QC. Alright, and we can simplify this down even further, and we will get that QC is equal to, what is it equal to? AP minus 1. Alright, so this is important really here because we just found a value for QC, alright? And we're just going to try plugging in this value in our system of equations. So what's our second problem in the system of equations? Well, guess what else do we know? We know that AB is equal to BC, right? Because these are congruent sides right here. And so what exactly is BC, alright? Well, if we go back to our Pythagorean theorem, we know that AP squared plus QC squared is going to be equal to BC. And we know that BC is equal to 8 minus 2AP. So in other words, it's AP squared. Let me write that down. AP squared plus QC squared is equal to BC squared. And what is BC? BC is 8 minus 2AP because these both are equal to each other. And 8 minus 2AP, that quantity squared is going to be equal to, I did the math already, it is 4AP squared. 4AP squared. Let me try to go back, refer back to my paper over here. 4AP squared minus 32 AP plus 64. And here, before we plug in anything, let's try to simplify it down first. We can take this AP squared, that would be 3AP squared minus 32. Oh, this is AP. Fit that P in there. Here, you know what? Let me just rewrite this whole thing. 3AP squared minus 32 AP. This is AP. Why am I only writing A? What's going on? Plus 64 is equal to QC squared. All right, and so now we can finally start plugging in what QC squared is. QC squared is AP minus 1 squared, and that is equal to AP squared minus 2AP plus 1 is equal to, or is equal to 3 This is a very long and tedious process, as you can figure out, all right? And so now let's simplify this whole thing down. This whole thing can be simplified down to 2 AP squared minus 30 AP plus 63. Alright, so now that we have that, you might try to factor this out, but you might realize that this is unfactorable, alright? We're going to have to use our quadratic formula, and from our quadratic formula, we'll get something that looks like this, okay? And so, I did our quadratic formula already on my piece of paper. You can do it on yours, but I'm just going to try to quicken this up. So, we have that AP is equal to 30 plus or minus 6 times the square root of 11, alright? I already did this on my paper, alright, the quadratic formula on my paper. You can do it on yours, alright? So if we have this, right, you might try what I did at first, alright? And what I did is I did 30 plus 6 square root of 11 divided by 4, alright? And you might realize that this will not work out, alright? Because if you have 30 plus 6 square root 11, so divide 4 on each of these, so that'll be 7.5 plus 1.5 square root 11. All right, see, that's what AP is going to be equal to, and let's plug AP back into here. We have 8 minus 2 AP. All right, so 8 minus 2 AP, and if we distributed this 2 out, then we'd have 8 minus 15 minus 3 square root 11, all right? And we know that will give us a value that is less than 0, all right? And so that would not work. And so if we plugged in 30 minus 6 root 11 divided by 4, all right, we would see that we would get 8 minus 2 times, all right, 2 times 7.5, all right, minus 1.5 square root 11. Okay, and if we distributed the 2 out, we'd have 8 minus 15 plus 3 square root 11, and that'd be greater than 1, all right? And so if we did that, we'd have 8 minus 15, that is negative 7. Then minus 2 times 1.5, or minus 2 times minus 1.5 is 3 square root 11, all right? And this is greater than 1, all right? Because minus 7 plus 3 square root 11 is greater than 1. And so now they want us to ask, what is k plus m plus n? Well, here k is going to be our 7, m is going to be our 3, n is going to be our 11. So we just add these up. So negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 11 is 7, and we have our answer 7 right here. And that Whew, that was a long question, all right? And so, remember in these geometry problems, right? There's a lot of these geometry problems in the AMC 10. Just assign certain values to something, and everything will be proportional, right? That's what I think I told you that somewhere in question like 12 or something. But assign a random value for a line or something, and everything will end up being proportional to each other. All right. So if that video was kind of confusing to you, go ahead and rewind the video, watch back, alright? Because obviously this is a tedious and long problem, alright? So just go back in the video and figure things out, alright? And that's how you do it.